Namaskar. Today we're going to take a fresh look at triangle pose. And what we're going to do is we're going to have Jeannine do triangle pose with a few different looks. You've possibly been to teachers' conferences and seen a number of different triangles. I'm not going to pick on anyone's triangle, but what I'm going to say is we're going to try one with a bent knee, one that Jeannine did over the past weekend, and then another variation where we show some things where you could use a prop. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show the bent knee type of triangle. Okay, there are a number of different bent knee types of triangles, and one of them is it's notorious, would be one that's done by Bikram. So we'll come fairly close to that and see what we've got. Okay, explain to us where we should feel any pressure, like as far as your right elbow and your right knee.
Okay, using my right elbow to press the right knee back and extend up with my fingertips, reaching into a straight line.
And so you're doing a fingertip to fingertip?
Right.
Okay. You can see this variation of triangle pose is an excellent form of triangle. Some people would say it's incorrect. They might look at the hip and they might say, well, the hip is too far forward on her left side. I personally think it's one of those things where, because it is the type of triangle that it is, the hip has to come forward a little bit. So show us another variation off the other side, the one you did last weekend.
Okay, so it's hips out to the side and reaching down, once again extending down. I don't remember if they specified in front or in back.
And they were fine with an upward angle, correct?
Correct.
So they were fine with an upward angle. And we've got a fingertip to fingertip straight. So we've got at least a consistency here that we know we're going fingertip to fingertip straight, but how they address the spine.
Right, and I guess it would go down. That's what you were saying for straighter.
Yeah, I had come along and made a variation such as this. And let me see, I'm going to try not to block the camera's view too much. This is fine. I want to mention one thing too. If we were to, and I've brought a couple of props, blocks, and these are different widths. So I'm going to do this for the other camera, and this here. Okay, so we have two different, if somebody's getting this low already, probably we'll use the smaller block. So what we'll do here, okay, now here's the thing. We start to look at this one. Really, she's on kind of an upward. Let me take a look over here. If someone's really hooked on the idea that the spine has to be parallel to the floor, in this case with Jeannine, there is no block, so we don't need a block. So in this case, sometimes you need a prop and sometimes you don't need a prop. Go ahead in again and go all the way on the back side. Yep. And now if somebody's hooked on the idea that the spine has to be parallel to the floor, in this case, this type of a person right here does not really necessarily need a block. Where some people believe that everyone needs a prop and some people believe that no one needs a prop, it's one of those in-between type stories where really a lot of people could use a block. Just going back even further, some teachers might come up here and over-adjust and say, no, not so much. But I mean, if she's getting that much out of it, and she get that much out of it, that's fine. Again, you have the adjustment with a hip. If someone wanted to rotate her hip, in this case I'm going to leave her alone. But I will say that some teachers would not be entirely happy with this, and what they would do is they start to rotate back. I think it's one of those things where you have to realize basically what we've got here is the general rules of alignment fall into place. Thank you very much, Jeannine. Okay, so what's going on when we look at this? I can go by strict dogma, and I can say that it has to be this way, and that way. But really what I want all of you to do is when you teach classes, realize that every student's body is different. There's no way if I have somebody who comes into the class and he or she has really tight hips or really tight shoulders or problems in the back, maybe somebody has scoliosis, that I'm going to make them do what just happened here. So it's know your student, know how they are, know how their bodies are, and so forth. And when you adjust them gently and safely. With that, I'd like to say goodbye. Om Shanti.